Hey guys, so today we're going to review point of view. So you're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil to jot down some notes so that you can remember what the points of view were. If I were you, I would kind of divide it up into a T-chart that has three sections, one for first person, second person, and third person point of view. And that way you can kind of organize your notes when you go and do the practice. So the narrator. Remember that the narrator is the person who tells the point of view and is who is going to be in the story telling what's happening in the story itself. You can only look at the narration to determine the point of view. The words that are in dialogue do not count. So what does that mean? So it's anything that is inside those set of quotation marks. You remember, these are what quotation marks look like. And anything that's inside of them is what the characters are saying. So can we use that to determine point of view? No, we can only use what is inside the story itself. So there's three types of points of view. There's first person, second person, and third person. For first person point of view, the narrator is in the story and he's referring to him or herself. You'll know that they're in the story and that it's first person because they use words like I, me, we, us, our, or my. So if you see those words inside the story, those are what's going to help you understand what point of view that it is. Here are some examples of first person point of view. So let's see if we can find the words within the story that are going to help us find the point of view. Read it to yourself closely and try to see if you can find the different words that are going to help us determine the point of view. As I read it, I saw my again, I saw I, and I saw I'm. The thing that I have to remember though is that none of these are actually inside a set of parentheses. So that means that I can use them to help me determine what the point of view is. Now let's look at second person point of view. Second person point of view is almost never used in literature. The second person is when the narrator says you and puts the reader directly into the story. So if you see them using the word you, that will kind of give you a clue that they're going to be using second person point of view. Here's an example of second person point of view. Read the paragraph carefully and see if you can find the pronouns that are going to help you determine that this is indeed second person point of view. I found a few, so I found you here and you here. That's going to help me determine that that was the point of view of second person. Now, kind of like what we had talked about before, the narrator says you a lot in Percy Jackson. So look at the example below. It is true that Percy does talk to the reader sometimes, but Percy is still the one narrating the story, so it is still in his first person perspective. And a lot of times you will see that authors can sometimes jump from being in first person point of view to third person point of view, but you have to go with what the majority of the story is being told in. So third person point of view. This is when the narrator is telling the story about other people or other characters. You're going to see them use words like he, she, him, her, they, them, or their, and also when they use the characters' names. But there's three different types of third person points of view. So there is omniscient, limited, and objective. And we're going to talk about what the differences are between them. So at this point in your notes, you may want to write down omniscient, limited, and objective, and I will tell you how to find the difference between the three of them. So the omniscient narrator is somebody who knows everything that needs to be known about the characters and the events in the story, and who has privileged access to the characters' thoughts and feelings and motives. So to keep it really simple, look what's written in red. The narrator knows all characters' thoughts and feelings. I would definitely capitalize and highlight the word all, meaning that if I had one character here and I had another character over here, I would know the feelings and thoughts of both of those characters. So I'd be able to know what character 1 is talking about, and I would be able to know what character 2 is talking about and feeling in their actions. So omniscient means knows all. Limited is somebody who is confined to what is experienced, though, or thought or felt by a single character, or at the most, a limited number of characters. So let's simplify that. What does that mean? If it is limited, the narrator knows one character's thoughts and feelings. As you get into more advanced literature, you will see that there can be included maybe more than one, but for a fourth grade level, we're going to focus on how it can show at least just one character's thoughts and feelings. So that means if I have one character, that is the only character that I know that about their thoughts, their feelings, and their actions. Other characters that might be in the story, they're in the story, but I don't know anything about why they did what they did. I'm only focused on character one. So I know only one character's thoughts and feelings. Objective. So the narrator can only tell you what can be seen or heard. They cannot know anyone's thoughts or feelings. So what does that mean? If it is written in third person objective, the narrator does not know any character's thoughts or feelings. They only write about what they see or what they hear. So I don't have any idea what any of the characters are thinking or feeling. I am simply writing what I see or what I hear. So let's look at this example. Guessing the narrator. Lily shivered and sobbed while sitting alone under the tree. Jacob felt a pang of pity for her, and though he worried what the others might say, he walked to her, sat beside her, and offered her his jacket. Which narrator point of view is listed? If you chose limited, you are correct. Guess the narrator. Lily shivered and sobbed while sitting alone under the tree. Jacob gazed at her with a stare suggestive of pity, and his lips tightened as though he debated something of importance. He gave one timid glance back at the others, and then walked boldly over to Lily and sat beside her and offered her his jacket. What point of view is this? Omniscient, limited, or objective? It is objective. Last one. Guess the narrator. Lily shivered and tried unsuccessfully not to sob while sitting alone under the tree. She was more embarrassed and miserable than she had ever been. Jacob felt a pang of pity for her, and though he worried what the others might say, he walked to her, sat beside her, and offered her his jacket. Which one is it? Omniscient, meaning knows all. Limited, meaning I know one. Or objective, I don't know any of the characters' thoughts or feelings. It is omniscient. Good job, guys. So what I want you to do now is I want you to go and do your practice quiz on point of view.